How's it going, everybody? You are first, Damon. How's it going? Okay. I need to turn down the music, number one. Start there. Probably turn the lights on. Kind of an important feature, eh? I don't know. I don't have a button. I need to redo my buttons. It's me. Hello. Oh, I don't even have like a nice shirt on. I'm just wearing rags, bro. It is what it is. I'm all over the shop. All right. Let's get into it. We are making a third-person shooter. We've been doing that for the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks. I'll lose count. So, chat, no chat. Oh, gotta start chat. Activate. Now it'll show up. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things are progressing. I really like the way things look. The animations look pretty good. So there's that. We just need to add some weapons to the thing. Let's run it. You guys can see, right? Yeah, you can see. Cool. So we've got our dude here, and we can aim and we can run. I'm not a super fan of the... Ooh, something's going wrong. Do I sound okay? I've got like audio driver errors. Do I sound okay? Where's my headphones? I'm concerned about those errors that just popped up. I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Hey, Bioburden? Get audio driver. Oh my goodness. Are we off the chop with audio? No, we sound okay. Never mind. I don't know what that error is. Audio driver. I haven't seen that before. Oh well. Let's not worry about it too much. So this is where we're at. We've got a guy. Obviously he's holding a gun. And we can aim, and we can walk, we can run, and I really like the running animation and the way it sort of like transitions between the two. I think that looks really cool. You know, we've got our jump, we've got our boost, everything's working pretty well. Animations look acceptable. I'll give it like a B-, you know? That looks weird. Walking backwards looks okay, and walking in this direction looks okay, but this does not. I mean, it's all right. It's fine. Whatever. Let's not worry about it too much. What can people really expect from me? So now we just need to get a gun in this guy's hand, you know? Know what I'm saying? And get a weapon manager going. Because we're like pretty much there. And then I can like, so what is going on? I have 115,000 errors for the audio driver. You know, I was in Reaper right before this started. I wonder if it's related. I can't click it. It's not responding. You guys can't see that. That's funny. My CPU's spinning up. I might have to restart it. Oh my goodness. What a disaster. Why would the audio drivers... I don't know what's going on, guys. Will I be releasing this? Yes, absolutely. Oh my god, it's dying. Yeah, I'll do like a video. I'm gonna do it like my plan is essentially what I'll do is I'm gonna record the entire thing. It'll be like 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll go with like a weekly schedule for each release, and we'll have like a full video that if you're like a Patreon or member, you can watch straight away and get access to. And I'm gonna have to look at like how I can section it off. I don't know, I'll work it out. But basically what I did last time was I did the FPS one where I released it week to week, and at the end I released the 2-hour video, and that worked really well. But I think it would be better if I did the 2-hour video and made it available immediately for people that like are already paying me, right? Like just as like a reward for them. Okay. So that's the plan at the moment. I don't know how long it will take me. It shouldn't. Oh, we're almost done with this. Realistically, like, I think I want to take another pass at the camera. Potentially, there's another state machine there, and then also take a look. I mean, we'll see how the weapon manager works out. The weapon manager is not going to be that different from the FPS one. It'll be less in depth because at the end of the day, like a third-person shooter doesn't have those same kind of like needs. You know, like we're just going to need like the spray is only going to be random, so we don't need to go as in depth for that. And then we'll take a lot of the principles that I learned along the way of creating that and apply them to this. So it'll be like an updated version of the weapon manager, theoretically, though shouldn't be too different, which means I should be able to knock it out pretty quickly. Let's hope this doesn't crash. Okay, so yeah, we've got everything here. Now we just need to, my plan is to get the weapons in, is to sort of have like a node that's like a child of the hand. I'm not exactly sure how to do it. I know that there are some things with skeletons that we can sort of look at. I need to check some nodes. Research is required because I don't know, right? So I don't know if there's like a bone attachment, a node that dynamically copies or overrides the 3D transforms of a bone. Right? Like that looks like copies or overrides the 3D transforms. What does it say? Bone attachment is not bound to any bones. Please select the bone. So, oh, we have many. I believe it would be right hand, right? And now this is that. Bone index override pose. Ooh. IK rig. Yes, there is IK in this. The thing with IK is that it is depreciated. So, I'm using IK at the moment to control the aim. So when I play this, right, you'll notice that the body moves up and down with the aiming of the cursor. And that's done with IK. I've sort of looked at other ways to do it, but I feel like IK is the best for that. It gives the most control. There is some things I don't like the way the head sits when I run, I'm not a huge fan of, but I haven't really been able to find a way to make it better. It's like, honestly, it's okay. You could tweak it. I have tweaked it so that it's not as bad. I think like the last time the head was like tilted back and sort of like bobbling all over the place. But, you know, like now it's in a pretty good spot. And this bone attachment seems like a good idea. Use external skeleton. I need to... Right, so it's in this. Would you put the mesh? Like, would you attach the mesh to this? I need a sample weapon. What weapons should I use? Kenny weapons? I need some stuff to put in the hand of the player. I don't see the problem with Kenny weapons is they're kind of a bit basic. Whoa, okay. Just the bank. So Kenny, right? .nl. Find third person, wait 1 second. Find this 3D person, wait 1 second. Okay, that is not it. Yeah, I think actually I'm keen on this bone 3D thing. IK is not going to work because IK is the opposite. It overrides a bone attachment. Hey there, how's it going? I just type Kenny Assets. Hey, we also got a follow. Hey, RTO EGIF. Thank you for the follow. And exert. I appreciate it. I can't read your usernames. Are they real users? We'll roll with it. No, they don't look like real users. What's going on? This minute. Okay, I just got so many. What the heck? Is this bots? Let's turn it off. This looks like bots. Oh, follower alert. Turn that off. Okay. That's weird, but we'll just shrug it off. All right, let's go back to the Kenny assets. He's got weapons, right? Yeah, IK is good for overriding. What just happened? I don't know. Something like on Twitch, I think I just got bot followed. So I just got like 20 followers. Lost souls. What does extend mean in GDScript? Really do. I saw someone code on GitHub, copy 2 straight code with the class name and others that extend it. My English is low. I not have the translation. That's okay. Okay, so lost souls name. I can explain that to you. It's pretty straightforward. So you'll see in a lot of my, I don't know if it's in one of these scripts. No, that's just got on ready. Let's go back to the player. In the camera, I have a lot of these. So extend, actually, you know what? It's in all of these. Extends. So this is classes. So you'll see this on pretty much every single script. I don't think you'll ever be able to write one without it because you need to inherit something, right? And everything inherits right down to object, right? So you could inherit object. I don't know why you would, but you could. And everything that is within that. So if you extend node, that means you get all of these functions because you inherit that class. So that's a pretty core component of programming, object inheritance. You're going to see that pretty much every single language that you do coding in. It'll look different for different languages. Like in Python, it might say import as, and in Godot we say extends. So, and then you know that like Node 3D, obviously you get all of this, but you also get everything in Node. There's fewer things in Node, it's not that important, but you get everything in Node and you get everything in object. And so like you can use all of these functions to your advantage however you want. So yeah, that's essentially what it means. You'll get more familiar with it as you use the engine more. Okay, so Kenny, weapon. No, come on, he's got weapons. Did he delete them? So just functions and variables, essentially, yeah. Can you make a model? Well, I mean, I do plan to, like, obviously the asset pack is going to have like a premium on it. So, you want to make a weapon model for this? Yeah, I mean, if you can make it fast enough. 3D. Train kit, mini characters. Conveyor, fantasy town. Blaster kit. This is the one I always use. Animations, we don't really need that many, I don't think. Let's just go with this for now. Continue without donating. So, we'll just save that down to, I don't even know what this is, under tutorials, state machine. Looks like you found some. We'll just roll with this because it'll keep the stream moving a little bit faster. Thanks though, I appreciate it. Player, state machine, player, okay, models. Let's just go with weapon models. We'll probably have to create a new folder. You can't see what I'm doing. Weapon models, weapons, let's go with that. And then just go models. And then we just drop that in, open that up, and then just extract. That's fine. We'll use the built-in Windows one. I don't really like to. And then we can delete the zip code. Zip. Okay, cool. So now we've got some. I want to see if I can attach these to essentially our player and see how it looks. I don't really know how this is going to work. I've never done anything like this before. In the previous tutorial I did, it was all baked animations, which works fine. But for this, it's just a lot of animation. Like if I wanted to include this and then I had to do a different kind of running animation for like every single weapon that you had in your hand, that would be really annoying and not really practical, right? It's better if we just like sort of have a way of getting it onto the character's hand, essentially. So let's go back to the test character. I've got this bone attachment here. I wonder if I just attach the mesh to that. So if I go to the weapon models, Mini Blaster Kit, which ones do we want? We will just take the GLTF. Which one do we like? Hang on, let's go back. It's Brave. It doesn't have them listed. I think like these green ones over here would be good. I use this purple one in my other pack. I forget which ones are which. No. The other thing I need to do is like do a pistol as well. I think this would work really good for like the hand placement and everything. The way that he's sort of got his hands out here. P. I have to remember that one. Or blaster. Maybe not quite what we're looking for. So let's go with P. Blaster P. So we can just drag that in here. And if we put that in that, see how it like moves around? And so if we reset the transforms on this, it's sort of, it's kind of like where we want it to be. I guess you just need to rotate it. Yo, can we stop the animation for just a second, please? Thank you. Just have to remember to turn that back on. Now, my mouse is running out of batteries, so it's a little bit too big. You can scale it down. And so I'm guessing I can just like move this into position and it's going to work fine. Scale of 100 to 100. Oh, okay. Honestly, it's pretty good. Probably still too big. Let's go with 75. Well, it's definitely going to fit in the hands of the character. But does it look right? I don't know. Okay, let's just put that there. Hand placement's a little bit off. You can fix that kind of stuff with IK. Forgot to turn the animation tree back on. See, I mean, it's not too bad. And that, I mean, bone attachment seems to be the answer there. We just need to like help out the model a little bit. I feel like maybe it's a little bit too small. A lot of these things, I guess you have to remember, like as long as you can't see it too much, it's not a big deal. Like right now it looks really bad because the left hand is passing through, but if that just was sitting in the right spot, it would work just fine. You know, like this looks alright. And everything just works. Like that's awesome, right? We just got to like help the placement out a little bit. I don't think I have an animation for changing the weapons. I'll have to look at that. Because I do want to do at least 2. I think 2 is reasonable if we can. Maybe 4. 2 to 4. Somewhere in that, depending on how hard it is. I mean, that's fine. We just got to work on the positioning. It's not pointing at the center, which is kind of like annoying. It's funny because what I wanted to do... Hello, animation mixer. What I wanted to do initially was like have the IK look at the thing you're aiming at. But actually, didn't work that good. So we just settled with up and down. So... kind of locked into that. I might just leave it at that. It's like, you get the idea, but we can always rotate the player so that they're looking further So we'll go to the idle position because this is the one I'm probably going to care about most. If we go to the blaster, I think what we want ultimately is for the size of this to sort of match up with the... It's way too big, eh? Like, ideally you want this bit here sitting in the shoulder bit. And then the other issue we're having is this arm comes too far out. So should we rotate the weapon to cover that up? You know what I'm saying? Like just a little bit of trickery. Yeah, it's gonna need some work, eh? Not 100% happy with it. This right hand, left hand is going to cause me some troubles, I think. Because like, realistically, the weapon would be positioned like this to like make it sit properly if you're going to put it in the hands. But that looks really weird if you're not aiming in that direction. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it's okay. I don't know. Like, what does this look like in game? Forgot to turn it on again. Yeah, see, look, this looks so weird. That's a problem. The walking animation, passable, maybe. I wonder if I can like, I don't know. I might have to jump into Blender to make it work. Or just choose a different weapon, realistically. I really don't like that the weapon doesn't point at where we're aiming. That's a big problem in my mind. Like, that's not good. So realistically then, so I have a default rotation. Let's get this guy in idle. And then I believe -55 is the default rotation. Just rotate this down a bit. Yeah, I don't know. It looks all fine on paper, but then when you actually go to like run the game, it doesn't look quite right. Okay, so it's passable when you're not zooming, but when you are zoomed, it's... I guess we can alleviate that issue by not setting the sideways. So I guess it's just gonna be a balancing act. Sorry guys, this is like me just figuring out how this should work. Side aim, side spring length. If we just make this like 0.5, does it probably look a bit better, eh? Much better. Now, he's a little bit tilted. You know what I'm saying? Still though, it's a lot better than what it was. All right. Well, we know the things. I'm not 100% happy with it, but we know we need a bone attachment 3D. So we just go like, we'll just give this a name, right? Weapon attachment. And then essentially what we can do is we can come to the test character script. And this is sort of like, this is a script that drives the animations. It doesn't really do anything other than that. Right, so we've got like a hip IK. So basically we turn the IK off when we sprint because like it just didn't look good. So what you can notice is that like we might be aiming up like this, but when we go to sprint, the character leans forward no matter what. So I thought that was important to do. Stuff like that. This is what this script does. And so we can just create a function called like attach weapon. To bone. And then it'll just take a weapon and that'll be a node 3D. Because it's just a model at the end of the day. So just put pass in there. Get rid of this. So what we want is a reference to this weapon attachment. Oh, that didn't work how I wanted it to. In fact, what we probably want to do is add a child node to the weapon attachment. Let's call it attachment. That way we can, rather than having to worry about this having a rotation and position, we give it to the attachment. And that way we don't have to like know what that is each time. So we can do it all again. Essentially. I wonder, the question is then, if I do this, what is it going to look like when I bring another weapon in? Know what I'm saying? Passing through. So, not the best, but we'll roll with that as the attachment position. That's how it looks in game. Not too bad. The clipping is pretty horrible. Looks good in this one. Okay. I reckon add an IK for the left hand so that you can position it properly. That's going to be like the next step because not every weapon's going to be the same. Okay, so we did the rotations on that and now this is 0, 0. So what happens if we bring in another weapon? What does it look like, you know? So delete Blaster P2 and bring in Blaster O. Why not? It's got no transforms and we'll push it to that. Oh, but that's not how we're supposed to do it. Oh yeah, then you can clear the transforms. It's not bad, you know? But the problem is going to be the origin of the weapon. So what I should be including is like actually the origin of the weapon should be where you want the hand placement to be, because that's where it's going to show up. Obviously this is not a good example because it's a pistol weapon. This has literally got nothing in it. What about Blaster N? That's my favorite. Okay, that just isn't working. Where is that going? Yeah, so it is definitely the orientation of the weapon is gonna matter a lot. I'm just realizing that now. So wherever we want it to go is where we're going to have to set the orientation of the weapon. Could you IK the forward hand to the magazine? Make it change depending on the weapon? Yeah, we'll probably need to do that because we don't have a lot of control over where that placement is, depending on the weapon. No, I don't want Blaster I. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a specific one that I use in a lot of my other sniper. Yeah, that's interesting. Blaster E. That's still a sniper. Blaster D. honestly not too bad, to be honest. Like this one, it is the go-to weapon of Kenny's weapons. But yeah, we do need to... Okay, so let's see if that works. Let's delete that. And open up Blender. The other thing I need to do is, begrudgingly, I have to play Fortnite to see what the 3D controller looks like in that game, because I feel like it's probably a good marketing tool. Gotta check that one to see if I can get similar features. Test character? No, we just want to get a generic Blender. Alrighty. So let's just delete everything here. And we'll import. GLTF is fine. Git repos. No. Tutorials, state machine, weapons, models, blaster, models, GLTF. What are we doing? Blaster D. I reckon it's probably the goated weapon. It is that good when it comes to like how everything looks. It's very generic looking, right? Okay, so what we want to do is move the origin of the object. So if we add a gimbal here, this is the origin here. It's no good. We need it to be on the head so that when we position it to 0, 0, that's where it goes. So that's really easy because we can just go like face select and select these faces and then do the same thing on the other side. And then go Shift S to selection. And that should be pretty much in the center. And then we can go to object mode and then go object, set origin to 3D cursor. And now the origin will be there. And now we can export that as a GLTF. Under Godot, tutorials, state machine, open models. Models, and what I'll do is I'll create a new folder for exported or weapon for character model. We can use other ones for the character model. That's fine. Blaster D. Okay. Awesome. Let's get back to this. The character Blaster D, we bring it in and we reset its transforms. Not the rotation. Not the rotation. It's a little blat. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome in. Happy to have you here. We are making a third-person shooter. And that didn't go quite where I was expecting. Okay. Actually, that's not too bad. I guess it's just a little bit of tweaking. I guess it just depends on the position of this attachment. And yeah, we're definitely going to need to do okay with the left hand. To be honest, like, maybe we just need to reposition this. I don't know. It's probably going to be different. The issue is it's going to be different for like every single... is it an FPS game? No, it's a third-person shooter. Here, I can run it for you. It's going to be a template. So if you don't know, I make tutorial videos on YouTube for the Godot game engine. And I guess recently, probably in the last 3 months, I started streaming that process just of me doing different things for fun, realistically. And so I've made like a couple of games. We've worked on some templates. And now I'm working on my next like tutorial series. And I'm trying to build out a third-person shooter. And I'm just sort of like... I guess a part of, you know, understanding and making this kind of content is like experimenting, seeing what works, what you think is good, because you don't always know. you know? Honestly, not too bad. But yeah, we're definitely going to need to use IK for that other hand placement. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to get it right. You can't really rely on that. Everything else, it kind of works, right? Like you can't see where I'm pointing. The hand placement, the right hand, it doesn't need to be super accurate. As long as it's not clipping into any mesh super obviously, it's fine. You know? If I was really good, I think I would do like blends. You could animate the top half of the body, you know what I'm saying? And then blend it into the rest of it. That's our other option, but it requires a lot of hand animation. And I don't really think that would, like, I'm not a blender guy, you know? I think the only thing that looks super weird is when you come back to rest. But honestly, everything else not too bad. So let's set up that other IK. So it'll be left hand. I should write. I'm looking to get into game dev as a hobby. Yeah, it's a great hobby. I do finance, you know, as a career, and I find I was trying to learn how to code, and I found that making games was the best way for me to learn how to do that. And then it just clicked for me. I sort of learned how to code based on that, and I just kept going. So skeleton IK, we'll just call this one left hand IK. All right, so it needs a target. They're generally just like nodes. It doesn't really matter. It can be anything, but we'll just make a we'll make a node. This one for hip is not named properly according to standard. It should be something like left hand target, and it should be this casing. Might rename that while I'm here, and then just try to update the code. Hip target, and come here. Ooh. There we go. All right. So we don't need code for this yet. So we can sort of just close that out. I just want to organize this a bit better. Stuck between Unity and Godot. Which one is beginner friendly for making mobile games? You can make mobile games in Godot. It's no problem. My experience with making mobile games in Godot was pretty good. It was a while ago, a few versions. The last time I made a mobile game was Godot 3.2. We're up to 4.4 now? 4.3. Got a little bit ahead of myself. So, you know, it's been a couple of versions since I did that, but you can do it. And if you're looking to like monetize it with advertising, then I know it's possible to do it on Android. I've never tried for Apple because I don't own a Mac. So at the time that I made a mobile game, I wasn't able to port for Mac, but it's 100% possible. Advertising is not that easy to do. You have to use a third-party add-on. So there are, like, in Unity, it's going to be a couple of clicks. In Godot, it's a little bit more involved. So there's that. But other than that, you know, like making a game in Godot is so easy. It's really good. It's really beginner friendly. Left hand IK. We've got the target, right? So now we can go root bone. We can go find our bone. Which I think left hand, and we just go left hand. It's going to be the same. Tip bone. Oh, it can't be the same. Left forearm maybe. We'll go with that. Override tip basis. That is what we want to do, and then you choose this as the target, and then you play IK, and the hand is going to go straight down to the floor. It's going to look really weird because this needs to be positioned correctly. Yep. And so playing around with this is sort of just a bit of a balancing act. So that looks a lot better, doesn't it? It's not 100%, but like, it's pretty good. Never going to be able to get it correct. Like, skeletons are kind of a pain like that. Especially in Godot. Not so great for 3D stuff like this. There's a clip through there. I would say, honestly, that's probably fine. A bit of the issue that we're having now is the weapon is too big. The skeleton doesn't go that far, right? So we probably just need to like let it hover there. As long as it's not clipping through the mesh, I'd say we're probably good. That's fine, I'd say. I'd be kind of interested to know. One of the issues, we're going to have a bit of a challenge with this, is because now this is stuck in static space. The left arm is going to look really weird. Or not. We have to activate it in code. So hit by K start. So we go left hand, we drag that in. Same thing here. Got to start them. And see, it doesn't, I mean, you can't see it, so it looks fine. We're not ever going to be able to, but see how it's like just up? It just looks weird. There you go, when it's running, it's like there. Like not quite in the right spot, and same when we go up and same when we go down. So we've got issues because it's not following the rest of the rig anymore, it's just stuck in that spot. So we probably need another target that follows the rotation of the weapon, which is going to be like a major pain in the ass. I wonder if the target can be a part of the rig, or is that game breaking? Like, could I put the left-hand target as a child of the blaster? You know what I'm saying? And so it's there. Dude, I think it's working. Hang on a second. Yeah, I think it's working. Whoa. Damn. That's not half bad, is it? So we can have a node that we use as like targets for this. That's awesome. It's not perfect, but like, as far as like making that content, like this is good enough, you know? We get the idea across. Dude, this is cool. There's some weirdness there. Do you see that? There's like a... This is because we're tweening from the sprint into the aim, and one's not done. So we probably need to store them as variables, and then like... Okay, so the other challenge then is the reload animation. Okay, so we've got the gun sort of in place. Like, what do we do for the reload? There is a reload animation that we can like use. Question is, what does it look like? Okay. I'm getting excited about this, guys. This is pretty cool. All right. I guess I have to make the weapon manager now so that we can do the rest of the testing, right? That makes sense. So that we can actually be like swapping weapons and like giving the command to reload and all that kind of stuff. Now, people have said to me that they think it would be better if I made the weapon manager be a state machine. And they're probably right, because last time I just used the animation player as a way of knowing what to do next. They're like, oh, if the animation called reload is playing, then we're in reload, right? That's how I sort of did it. It works fine for that. It's not a big deal. But for this, we're not going to be able to do that because like we're not going to have unique animations. It's just going to be one. And we're not even going to have access to it because the weapon manager is going to be on the character, not on this rig, right? And yeah, it's just not going to work the same way that it did for that. So we need to have probably a state machine. Maybe we'll do it with enumerators. And we'll also need to have I don't know. It's just gonna be slightly different, right? Not exactly the same, but it's gonna go close. The other thing, okay, so I guess I say that I'm getting pretty close to like how things look here. Should I check Fortnite? Maybe I'll just check Fortnite in my own time. I'm not that keen to fire it up. I'll be honest with you. So what do we need? If I'm thinking about how this works when we switch weapons. So we're gonna always attach it to this node here, this weapon attachment. Spelling is funny. NA Games, hey, welcome to the stream. Haven't seen you in a bit. How was your weekend? And then we'll also need to have a left-hand target. If we're going to change that node, this IK is going to need to be updated. So we'll need a function to hook into this and sort of update what's here, like remove what's attached, attach a different weapon, update the left-hand target for the IK, and yeah, I don't know, go from there. Something like that. So that's what we need. It's like we're putting the cart above the horse. The cart in front of the horse. Is that the phrase? I don't... What's English anyway? Good but short. Okay, nice. We had a long weekend. It was 36 degrees. It's hot. I got the fan going. It's 30 degrees. It's like, it's crazy. It's September. It's not meant to be this hot here at the moment. We just started spring. And technically, I don't think it's actually spring. We just do that thing where it's like the first day of the month and now it's the next season. Calendar seasons? I don't know what the word is. It's not technically spring yet. I don't think. When does spring technically start? Does anyone know? This is a bit off track. Spring start date. Spring actual start date? Actual start date. Australia. Well, they just say the 1st of September, alright. Yeah, but that's not like the actual, you know, equinox or whatever they call it. And spring equinox days and nights are approximately 12 hours long. Wow, this is dumb. Why am I just reading the Wikipedia for spring? What the fuck? Anyway, not important. So we need a function. Attach weapon to bone. Okay, so we're gonna have a weapon. I guess we need to check current. We need current attachment, which is going to be equal to attachment. Do we have that node yet? Attachment. Dot get child, right? Get child, right? And so we can say if current attachment, then current attachment key free. I don't know. Oh wait, get child 0. No static type. It's a node, bro. It's a node. Why do I have to explain this to you? Because I told you that you require it. Okay, so we remove the current attachment. I don't know if that's going to cause errors, but we'll roll with it for now. That's what we want to do. And then we're going to attach the new one. So we'll have to go var. I'm assuming here I've already instantiated it, but maybe this needs to be a pack scene. Because I know it's not going to come as like just a node 3D. It's going to be a pack scene. So var new attachment. Can't spell. It still feels wrong. Node 3D equals weapon dot instantiate, right? And then we add it to the attachment. So attachment dot add child. New attachment. And then we also need to, and perhaps we do this before we add this child, I don't know. We also need to set up the IK. So we need to get access to the left-hand IK. I think I already have that. Yeah, I do. And then we need to set the target. So it'll need to be dot target is equal to new attachment. And we'll need to have a class on the new attachment or like a script on the new attachment target, something like that. I don't know. It will be a child of it. We'll work on how to get that. Yeah. New attachment dot. We'll just call it IK target for now. Obviously, we can't run this code until we finish that. This is all pseudocode. All right. And I guess if we wanted to be real smooth about it, we'd add some easing on the IK, but we'll worry about that in a second. How are we handling the positions of the attachments? So what I'm doing at the moment, NA, is we've got a weapon attachment, which is a bone attachment 3D. And we're going to have a node within that is positioned sort of around this hand area. This is already targeting that, but you know how it is. Things don't always line up and the rotations aren't quite there. So we're just sort of getting that in place. It might need to change. But the idea is we're going to attach this weapon, as you can see here, Blaster D2, to that weapon attachment node, and it's going to have a left-hand target for the left hand so that we can move it around so that it'll like go into a place that is acceptable. And then that way we can sort of get away with having fewer animations. And it looks okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst. You know? But for what we're going for, I think it's acceptable. It seems to follow everything okay. It would require more polish if you were going to take this to a final product, but like for what it is right now, the weapon doesn't face like exactly where you're aiming. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Stream is lagging? Oh, damn. That sucks. I think I'm okay on my end. Well, I am looking at OBS. I don't know actually. If I check YouTube. Check the tubes. Stream health? It says it's alright. I don't have any alerts. It is what it is. So that's what we're going for at the moment, if that makes sense. So I've got a function sort of like, it's essentially pseudocode at the moment on how this will look. And now I actually have to make a weapon manager so that we can change weapons. I think that's going to be the ticket. Don't know for sure. It's just a guess at this point because like I don't really have anything to go off. Okay, I don't even have like a change weapon animation. So like that's something else we'll need to address. But for now, let's sort of start working on a weapon manager. And I am going to copy my other one pretty closely. I'm not going to bring it in. I'm not going to import it directly because it's going to need to be different, but I'm going to have it on another screen so I can remember how it's written. Where is that? Godot. GitHub repos. Godot FPS template. Let's open up the project. Thank you. I'm glad it's come a long way since the weekend, that's for sure. Or since last week, I should say. I didn't stream on the weekend. So, you know, we're getting to a place now where it looks pretty reasonable. Fairly presentable, I guess you could say. I wonder if that IK mustn't be active, right? Yeah, it's not. Okay. So we will need a resource again, right? Because we're going to do the same exact thing as before. We'll have a resource for the weapon that'll hold like information like the pack scene for the weapon to load and like how it works. Same exact setup as last time. That seems like the most reasonable way to do it. Weapon resource GD. We won't need everything though. For example, we will not need every single animation because it's just going to be different in that regard. Weapons, I say player, we got models, states. I'll create a new folder for the weapon manager. All right. And then create another folder for the weapon resource. And then within that, we will create a script that inherits a resource, and it is object empty, weapon resource. Click. All right. So, extends resource, class name resource. That's fine. We can copy that across. We don't need many animations. That's the thing, right? Like, we don't need any animations. We might even do IK. Should we do IK for the recoil? We're doing a bit already, so we might as well just keep it going, right? A lot of attachments. Receivers for the base. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I'd need to, you know, those models I was working on like a couple of weeks ago doing like the weapon attachments. We could probably bring some of that in. Theoretically, it wouldn't matter if it's on a 3D model or a 2D model. I mean, a 3D model, third person shooter or like a first person shooter, doesn't really matter. So we could probably include that if we have time. Some of these look a bit weird. Yeah, good enough. You know what it is? It's when it like clips over. When the pill, like when the capsule clips over, it gets a bit confused about where the ground is before it plays that next going down animation. So it plays it a bit early. A bit floaty, to be honest. Okay, we don't need animations. We will need like okay stuff maybe to think about, but we will need a bunch of stats for the weapon, right? Like, how does it work? Does it have ammo? Yes or no? Could be a melee weapon. How much does the magazine hold? How much does the ammo damage? This is all stuff that I've done before. Melee damage. I don't know if we need to separate the two. Auto fire is set to true. Let's not do melee because I would need an animation for that and I don't want to do it. We'll have separate, we could probably go to Mixamo and get a separate melee animation for a melee weapon and include that as a part of the tutorial because tons of people asked me about that for the last one. Deleted the wrong comment. Okay, so auto fire, the weapon will continuously fire until the trigger is released. That's fine. The range that the weapon will fire, that's fine as well. We do need that kind of information. Can be dropped, weapon drop, weapon spray, projectile to load. These are all things that we do want. Enum for the weapon type. like a auto fire versus like a single fire rate. Could be an enum, but it would only be 2 options, so it could be also a tick box. Can be dropped. Yeah, we do want something like that. Weapon drop, the weapon 2 drop. I think I'm going to rename this variable while I have the chance. Weapon 2 drop. The spray, yeah, I think we will want to do a spray profile like we did in the other one. I really liked how that worked. This one's just going to be random spray. Perhaps it could just be a function, to be honest. Maybe we won't have this. I do like the way it worked, but at the end of the day, having a spray path on a third-person shooter probably doesn't make much sense. So if it's just going to be random, it could probably just be a function within that. We'll have to look at the kind of options I made available and if we want to bring them across. Something to think about. Projectile to load. Yeah, we do want that. Incremental reload. Can we do a shotgun? Should we do a shotgun? I don't really want to. It could be an enum, I guess. You go like auto fire, single fire. No, but see, incremental reload is like a different thing. Single fire, reload, and then like shotgun. And then you automatically have incremental reload. I don't know. Let's keep it as a checkbox. That's basically it. Interesting. All right, so we got some behavior. And now we can control that. The thing is, I want the script to be completely different. Yes, indeed. So the thing is, I guess, like, I run the risk of copying the old way of doing it. Maybe there's another way I could think about it. You know what I'm saying? Does it need to be that way? I don't know. It worked fine. Is there another way it could be? I don't know. Let's take a look. I don't want to open up another version, not the Godot. We've got too many Godots open already. At the actual weapon state machine. It didn't have that many variables, eh? Pretty slim. We'll roll with that for now. What do? We do need some extra information, right? Like we will need to know the export var, projectile to load, weapon to drop. We also need the so rigid body spawn for the. We're also going to need, and probably at the top, above the weapon stats, export group weapon, right? I'm gonna add a variable for the weapon name just in case it is handy later on. Like, I'm not gonna necessarily use it, but I'll have it there just in case. Maybe you want to put like stats, like when you hover over it, when you're looking at it on the ground, you know what the name of the weapon is, if that makes sense. And then export var weapon mesh weapon model. And this is going to be a pack scene. It's not going to be a mesh. I'm going to be more specific than that because it could be a mesh, but it probably won't be based on what like you get out of GLTFs and stuff like that. It's going to be a Node 3D, so that is a more likely scenario. So we'll roll with that. Weapon name, weapon model, and then we also. We won't need the target. We're going to get that from the weapon model. So in terms of like getting it into position, we've got the target for the IK. And that is going to be in like a separate script that is going to be a part of that weapon model, right? Because we're going to need to create scenes for every single weapon that have this target IK. You could also be a position. You could store that information as like a vector 3. That's our other option. That's more complicated because you would need to know what that position is in advance. And that's kind of annoying, right? You do it that way. Be simpler. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it could be that way. Yeah, don't do a vector 3. Yeah, vector 3s suck. Well, not suck. It's just when you're working with something so visual, I like to have more visual things to go off. Like when I did the spray patterns, like it's a path that you can draw. It could just be an array of vector 2s, but that sucks because you can't see it. Okay, so that does mean we need to create scenes for this, for left-hand target and blaster. So I might as well just like save as a scene, right? Save branch as scene. Can't save the branch of an already instantiated scene. To create a variation of a scene, you need to make an inherited base scene based on the instantiated scene using scene new inherited scene in bleh. Is that an option? Save branches scene. No, it's not. So we just need to create a new one. Rifle. It is literally the rifle. Weapons models for character model. You just drop that in. Like so. And then it's going to need a node 3D. And this is going to be the left-hand target. And yeah, we're just going to position it essentially sort of around there and hope and pray that it does enough. So we'll go weapons, actually, yeah, weapon models for character model. And then I'm going to create a new folder and then just call like, I don't want to call it final, but it's like scenes. Let's go with that, whatever. So it'll be a rifle, left-hand target. This will need a script so we can get access to that. It's node 3D. I'm just gonna call this one a weapon. Rig weapon. It's kind of a goofy name. And we're just gonna set up an export. It's literally all we need to we just need to access this node. Left-hand target. Left-hand target. Node 3D. And then you just assign that. Okay. So that's what it would look like, theoretically. So we've got a weapon resource, and it's got a weapon model, which is a pack scene. Can't type that, so there's no class there. We could make it a class though, like the rig weapon. We could go extends, get a class name. Might make things a bit easier in the editor. Capitalize folder names. Yeah, I don't know. I should probably not do that. For the final one, I might undo that. Should it just be like the name with the underscore? I don't know what the rules are. I don't work in the industry. Class name. Rig weapon. I really hate that name. weapon model attachment. Maybe that's better. Anyway, so now I've got that class and it's got a left-hand target. I can come back to the test character. And this is no longer a new attachment. It is a new attachment left-hand target. Left-hand target is not in the current scope. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It's left. And no, what am I doing? That's the variable we want to go for. Got a little bit ahead of myself. This here, left-hand target, and this is a weapon model attachment. That's the name of the. There we go. Cannot be assigned to a variable of type transform 3D. Oh. Okay. Yes. Node 3D cannot be assigned to a variable type of transform 3D. Rip. This is why we do typing. Target node is the variable I'm looking for. There we go. Target node. Oh, it's a node path. All right. Dot get path. Happy days. Returns the node's absolute path to the scene tree root. This node is not inside the scene tree. The method fails and returns an empty node path. From this node to the specified node, both nodes must be in the same scene tree. Otherwise, if you get a relative path, I wonder which one I should use. I guess we'll try this, and if it fails, it fails. All right, let's create a couple of weapons. Now we've got rifle. I guess I'm just going to create another rifle. I don't have like a pistol animation, so. I guess I'm just going to save scene as. Save scene as. Rifle 2. Go with that. And I need to go back to Blender to make another one. I guess I can just delete this. Delete hierarchy. I'll import GLTF. Which one was I using before? I think Blaster P. Yeah. So same as before, I just need to get the node position. It's not quite right. I need to work out what the sweet spot is for the origin. But we'll roll with this for now. Cursor to selected, and then object set origin. Origin to 3D cursor. Don't save this. Export as GLTF. Scenes. No. Blaster D. Blaster D. This. Which one was this? Blaster P. It's literally the only change I need to make. Move the origin so that. I guess we could also use a bone. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways we could do it. Anyway, not important. Delete this one. Left-hand target. I mean, realistically, it's in the same spot at the end of the day, isn't it? Interesting. Okay. It might not reach because this gun is longer. That's at 0, 0. Great. Okay, so now we have 2 weapons to test this out on. We got to switch weapons. How do we do that? Won't worry about animating it for now. We're just going to change the mesh. So I still need a script and I still need everything for the player to have like a weapon manager. We haven't got that yet. Doesn't need to be a part of the camera like it did last time. I don't think it can be its own node. Realistically, it does need to get access to the test character to like update the model, and it will need to get access to the camera to do a ray cast. Now, do I even have access to the camera in this node? I can get the camera other ways. I actually don't need to get access to the node for the camera. I can use the get viewport.get camera. That would work too. Right. Let's delete this. Okay. It's so hot. It's like, it's spring. It shouldn't be like this. I don't know how I'm going to survive this year. Okay, so like I said, I need to create a function. I need to create a weapon manager. I guess I'm just going to put it on the player as a node. Doesn't really need to be anything else, does it? Call this the weapon manager. And we'll have to give it a script. And we'll drop it in the player, weapon manager, weapon manager. Node 3D is fine. We might give it a class name as well, just in case we need to get access to it. What's the usual peak degrees over this this year? I would say in September we are expecting like, 25 or whatever. Let's have a look. We just Gold Coast climate. I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't ping my actual location in the city. Culture. There used to be like a good thing on climate. Here we go. Wikipedia for the win. So the average in September is 24. I mean, it's hot all the time, right? But like, you sort of would expect it to be, especially that it's like, it's nighttime right now. So like 10 degrees, or like 14 would probably be what you'd expect it to be. I don't know if I went outside what it would be. Like houses retain that heat. But what's the difference between the mean maximum and the mean daily maximum? Even in July, it's like, it's nice. It's a nice place to live in terms of temperature. The thing that gets you is the rain. Average daily rain. Average precipitation days. It rains all the time here. And that humidity number is false. It's often like it's 90% outside right now. I check because it ruined my house. Anyway, not important. Class name. Weapon manager. Okay. We might need ready. So I probably just need to go like project. I need to like swap weapon. So last time I did this with a what did I do? I used a like scroll up, scroll down. So weapon up, I guess I'll call it weapon up. Add weapon down. I just want to create a simple script just to test the changing of the weapons. So many months with hot weather. When it's 25 plus Denmark, I'm cooked. Yeah, I guess you get used to it though. Like if I was in a place where it was 25 in the summer, I would think it was cold. And like originally I'm from like the bottom of the country where it is like actually cold all the time. but I haven't been there for a long time. Like Tasmania, or specifically, I grew up in Hobart, climate where it's like cold. It's 16 degrees, 7 degrees right now, and in December 2111, like the hell is this? This isn't Australian weather, but we have cold places as well, And so I went back there a couple of years ago in 2022 in January, and I had to go to the shop because I ended up having to stay longer than I expected. I went back for family, and I was meant to go for a single night. Ended up having to stay for an entire week, and I had to go to the shop and try to find like a jumper and like track pants and stuff because I was cold, because that's winter weather for me now. And it was hard to find because it was January. It's like the middle of summer here. And they were like, why do you need that? And I'm like, freezing my ass off because I'm from the tropics now. But yeah. I mean, yeah, the like latitude equivalent would be like Russia, but because it's an island, it's very small. It's hang on before I do that. I don't know if it's got my location data. I don't think it does. I did open on my city. Glad I checked that. It's because I'm signed in. So like we're talking. New Zealand's just here. New Zealand's colder than Tasmania, but like that's Antarctica, It gets cold. And so like we're over here now, which is like very close. I mean, it doesn't look close to the equator, but it's really not that far. We get they call it subtropical weather. Yeah, I was in the snow before I was in the sun. I guess we want mouse inputs. Mouse wheel up. And then we'll go with mouse wheel down, I guess. It's a big country. I guess that's something. The thing is, like, most people live like southeast Queensland, Melbourne, and Sydney. That's like 90% of the population. Where it's like a lot warmer. What I want to do is I want to set up some input, really. I don't really want to do anything else right now. So if input, so if event dot is action pressed weapon up. There it is. Then, I don't know, change weapons. Just put a pass. And then if event dot is action pressed weapon down, then we're going to also change weapon. So we will need, if I remember how to do this properly, probably a weapon slot like I did last time. I had a set of, I have like weapon slots. So basically at export var weapon slot, plural, I guess. Yeah. It's an array of weapon resources. That's not how you do it. It looks like this. And then we're going to have a var current weapon slot. And it's going to be equal to, it's not going to be equal to nothing. It's just going to have a type of weapon slot. Well, we don't have that yet. Let's make it a weapon resource for now. Weapon slots. So do I need to implement that? Because, I mean, maybe I could get away with it just being weapon resources for now. Current weapon slot would be a weapon resource, but actually we'll change that later on to be a slot, and it'll be different, don't worry. Okay, so we always had like the weapon stack, but we have the weapon slots, so we don't really need to create a stack. Why did I even have that as a thing? It seems so weird to do that. For I in weapon stack. Well, the weapon stack was this. Weapon slots. I just renamed it. So, it's in the ready. What about in the change weapon? What do I do here? We just pass in the weapon stack with the index. So basically, oh, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but I never did. No, okay. Anyway, we get the index. That's basically what we do, and then we pass it to a function called like exit or like change weapon. Let's just call it change weapon here because that just makes more sense. And then we have next weapon, which is a weapon resource for now, and it returns void. And let's just go pass. And what we can do is we can essentially just occupy. It's very bare bones at the moment. We can have this, and we can have two, and then we can add both of the weapon resources that we're going to create that we haven't made yet. Yeah? For character, no, we want the player, weapon manager, weapon resource, create new resource. It's a weapon resource, and it will be called Rifle 1. Because it was so imaginative. Call it Rifle. Oh, what a name. Rifle 1. The weapon model is the pack scene for character models. Scenes. Rifle. The stats. Has ammo, magazine. We don't really care about any of this stuff. Can be dropped. We won't even tick that. It's not going to do anything right now, so it doesn't matter. Let's create another one. In fact, let's just duplicate this. Rifle 2. And Rifle 2, also called Rifle 2, can have Rifle number 2. Could you make the current weapon slot an integer as an index, and then you just put the index as a parameter for the change weapon function? Yeah, you could. There's a reason I do it that way, because I treat it kind of like inventory. But yeah, I mean, I was actually doing that for a while. It just depends how you do it, right? Weapon slot as an integer, as an index, and then you just put the index as a parameter for the change weapon function. Yes. We could totally do it that way. So what you're saying is essentially weapon index, because that's essentially what I'm going to be figuring out. This will just be an integer. And essentially what we do is we find out what the current weapon is. So we just go var weapon index is equal to the weapon slots dot find current weapon slot, right? And then when we have that, we can increment it. We can go var, not var. It's a static type. It's an integer, right? And then we can say weapon index equals weapon index, but we'll just make it so you can't go past 0. So, oh wait, we're going up, right? Weapon up. Yeah, so you can't go past the maximum of the weapon index weapon slots array. So it's either going to be the weapon index plus 1, right? Or the weapon slots dot size -1. Easy. And then we just pass that to the change weapon. Change weapon, weapon index. Oh, modification. Change weapon. Dude, that's just too much. Change weapon, weapon index +1. Plus. Yeah, but see, the thing is, actually, weapon index +1 divisible by modulus. I don't like those things. I feel like they're really unpredictable. But maybe because I don't use them. So I know roughly what you're saying. So we go here and we go weapon index. And then we say, we put this little bad boy here. This little bad boy, and we just go like. But does it need to be -1 or you just go like that? That's what you wrote, right? We're about to find out. Can we do the same thing in reverse? We just don't want it to be 0. Just the size, not -1. Okay. But for this, I mean, I've always just gone max weapon index -1 or 0. I feel like that's pretty clear, right? Something like that. Anyway. I think what I'll do is go current weapon slot equals in the ready will just be weapon slot 0 for now as we test this out. And then the change weapon, right now, we just need to set the current weapon. Equals. I just like it because it looks good. I guess it's more simple. I think people might get confused. Either way. Current weapon slot equals weapon slots. Weapon index. Yeah, what is it like? It gives you the remainder. Is that what it does? Can I click it? I can't. I have read about them. I have used them a lot in the past as well. Just not for this. I use them for math related things. This is math, I guess, when you think about it. Now, so what we want to do at this point, right now, all we're trying to achieve is just like changing the mesh on the character. We are going to need to have a signal here. Probably called like on weapon changed. It gives the remainder as 0. Okay. On weapon changed, and that's going to give a weapon, which will be a weapon resource. That's our signal, and we're going to emit that signal. Not like that. That's the old way. On weapon changed dot emit, and we pass in the current weapon slot. All right, and that should be all we need to do for the weapon manager. It doesn't need to know about nothing else. And then theoretically we can connect it to the test character. And the test character gets on weapon manager, on weapon changed. I don't like that too much. Maybe I'll just change it to weapon changed. But we just go attach weapon to bone. That's all we do. Well, actually, no, we don't, because we want the weapon pack scene. So hold our horses. So, weapon to load is going to be equal to weapon dot, what is the called? Weapon model? Yeah. I think the weapon up solution will loop back around to 0 if you scroll up. Crazy weapon down solution will stop at 0 no matter how much you scroll. Yeah, I guess it just depends on what you're going for. I've always done it as like, when you get to the max, it just stops. It depends on the games. Some games do it differently. No name package. Hey, how's it going? I haven't got my chat open. Oop, that's a map. Hey, welcome. Weapon to load has no static type. It's a pack scene. Don't worry about it. Trust me, bro. And then we can go attach weapon. Attach weapon to bone. Why isn't this working? Pre-fill for me. Weapon to load. Should be right. We'll just test this for now. Okay, so theoretically it should work. It probably won't. It's probably something I'm missing. Yeah. Okay, invalid access to property or key, weapon model in base object, weapon to load. We sent out nothing. Looping the array. Yeah, I guess it just depends on personal preference. It's not a big deal. We emitted nothing. Why did we emit nothing? Because there's no current weapon. I'm just going to need a breakpoint really, because at the end of the day, it's going to crash. Self, weapon slots, array, current weapon slot, null. Null. Did I not add them? What happened? Hello. They're empty. Okay, well that'll do it. It's still breakpoint. How do we go through it? Continue. Right, so... Hang on a second. Let's remove that. It's working. It's working. It's not always working. We got some bugs. Weapon was null. New attachment, null. We can't call instantiate on nothing. Why would it be nothing? Lots of nulls going out here. Well, it's very bare bones at the moment, so I'm probably just... I think what I'm most worried about is going... We go down, goes null. So I think I need to look at the weapon manager and see what I'm emitting. I'm obviously emitting nothing. Because, I don't know, what happens if I go weapon index? What is the weapon index that I'm passing through? Like, the weapon didn't even load, but I'm more curious about why it would crash. Oh, we got some bugs. Attach weapon. Connect path of the node is not in the scene tree. Huh. Right, okay, that makes sense. That's fine. Output is 1. We go down, and it goes nothing, 0. Why would 0 be a problem? Unless that particular weapon doesn't have anything loaded. Let's have a look. It's got a model, so why would it be null? Anyway, let's fix another issue, which is we need to add the child to the scene before we add the get path part. Makes sense. Okay, so the weapon didn't load, but the IK is there. We got rotational issues, but that's fine. Interesting. Is it like somewhere on the character that I just can't see? Doesn't look like it. Why is it not visible? Debugger. What's going on? Handguns, yeah, basically. Okay, so we've got some warnings which are unimportant. You know what? I should check when it's running what happens here. Go to this, go remote, world, character, test character 2, armature, skeleton, weapon attachment, rifle, blaster. It's there. Position is 0, 0. Position 0, 0. Left-hand target is there. Physical bone simulator? That's like different. It's attached. So like why it's not visible, I don't know. Maybe its position is somewhere where the camera can't see it. Like it's being instantiated in the wrong spot. It really shouldn't be. And then if obviously we scroll down to 0, we get a null value, which is even more concerning because theoretically it shouldn't be null. Right? I'm doing more printouts because I don't know what else to do. Weapon name, right? Or even weapon model, right? It's null. Why is it null? It doesn't make any sense. The index is 0, so it should be equal to this. And that's got a weapon. It's got a scene. It's got a weapon model, right? Weapon model. There's a scene is there. Like, what happens if I change it? Set weapon model. Okay. It was just some weird bug. So now we have the issue of it not showing up. What about rifle 2? So why is the position not shown? Hands. I don't get it. It should literally be the equivalent of just dropping something on there. Right? Like it should just be straight up like, if I drop this rifle scene. Oh, it's not visible. Whoa. What the heck? What the heck? I haven't seen that before. Do I need to reload the project? Not too small, no. Where are you? Where are you? Sorry about that. What? Is there like something in the debugger? Okay. Try to scale it. Whoa, okay, what? It needs to be scale 100. This index in 2D would be the index most like. Well, I never worked in 3D. Oh my god, what the heck? Why is it scaled so small? It's just a little tiny weapon. Okay. What? This changes everything. Left-hand target is like in the totally wrong spot. Let's delete it. Yeah, I gotta redo the hand targets. Okay, that looks much more reasonable. It's coming in right where we want it to, but yeah, the left-hand target needs to be redone. So let's delete that. Actually, no, don't delete it. Make editable. I wonder if I could save the information for the left-hand target so that I know the rotation and the... Is it on? Let's turn it on. Play target. Because the rotation and its position need to be updated. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You drop it there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just good enough to get the idea across. Right, so now I know the transform. Copy value. Go to rifle. Paste value. Yeah, that works. It's changed. Hello, what? Oh, the IK is no longer turned on. Copy value. Paste value. Save. Okay. Same with rifle 2. Let's remove this one. We're getting somewhere. We're making progress. This one isn't quite right. Not really where we want it to show up. Delete. Rifle 2. The blaster, the handle needs to be basically on the origin point because that's where it's going to spawn in. Raise it up a bit. Somehow this one worked out okay. In fact, it's in a little bit further back. Let's just see. This is actually pretty good. It's a little bit too far forward. So what's best then is probably going to be where the trigger is closer to the origin. And this is probably just going to be something we have to sort of mess around with. I love 3D. This makes so much sense. Not bad. We just need to move it back a little bit further. How fiddly does this want to be? And then just down a little bit, I would say. Why you delete every time? That's a good question. I could have it there, right? It's just because I know it's going to load up properly. I've been burned in the past by Godot. Editable children. Target is going to be left-hand target. Left-hand target will be... Play OK. So this one, I think the weapon might be too big, but we'll roll with it. You know what? I think there's a setting in the left hand, like where you can see where you say override tip bases. Nah, it's no good. I was going to say, like, hopefully, I was thinking of something where you could just ignore the rotation. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do that. We can't go any further forward, so we're probably better off just having it clip in there. It's not really going to be visible by the camera anyway, so we're better off just not having it seen. You know what I mean? And then on the sprint, it'll look good enough. In fact, we probably want it to be sitting a little bit lower. Something like that. Copy these values and then paste them. Copy value. Paste value. Okay. Go like that. Okay, let's remove the attachment. And now the hand is all messed up. Okay, so what I want to do as well with the weapon manager, I'm not actually calling that change weapon print weapon index. I'm just going to go like, I don't actually have to go this. I just go change weapon 0. Not bad. This one we decided to like hide it entirely, so it's not even visible. He does look like he's holding on to it. Like it looks pretty good there when you're sprinting. Acceptable. Acceptable. That's what I'll call it. The right hand looks really good here. Not, it's a little bit too far out, but like it's fine. So this is what you were saying with mod, but not bad. Not great. The way they run is so funny. It looks really awkward. Okay, now that all that's left is for us to like actually set up some like shooting mechanics and stuff. Should be good to go. We're cooking, boys. Make a node where the weapon sits on that looks at the point where you were looking at. Yeah, I tried that, but it came out real wonky. It didn't look good. A node where the weapon sits on that looks at the point. So the problem is the hand, that right hand, where it is, we would also need to like rotate that. So you would need like an IK for the right hand that pointed the weapon where we were aiming. There is a way for us to get that information. We could do a raycast, right? So that it always pointed in the right direction. I have noticed on other games this isn't always 100% perfect either, but so there's a point here where it looks fine, but yeah. Because we've got the up and down, but we don't have like directional for the arm. The weapon is the king and the IK follows it. Could be done. You'd have a right hand target and a left hand target, right? This one here. Right now, it's a lot easier to have this as just a weapon attachment and have it follow everything else. Like a lot easier. We could still have that, but then you just need to set up an IK for the right hand target. And have it would not be able to be a part of this. It would need to be a part of just a separate target list. So you could do, we could set up a third IK. Call this one right hand IK. The problem with this one, we'll have to turn it on and off when we're doing stuff. And then we can create a node, 3D. I'm gonna make it. It's not gonna look good. Just so you know. The problem is, at least what I've done, because I was experimenting with the hip target so that I could turn, so like basically with the hip target, here I show you what I've done. I did this over the weekend. And so the hip target is just like rotating the spine up and down. That's all it does. And we've got a default Y rotation to sort of keep it in line with roughly where it was to begin with. So it's facing forward. And I thought what I would want is like based on the raycast, it should like point a certain direction. But it did not end up like looking good at all. Like it just became wonky and didn't look right. Probably just because like how you expect it to look. Like you're aiming over here kind of thing with the raycast, but like you want it to be facing forward, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of bizarre and I just ended up not doing it. Good idea in theory though. Maybe it's because I was using Lookout. Something like that. I don't know. It's simple enough the way it is. I haven't done this before. No, you're right. Like, it's a good idea to have it so that because the weapon right now doesn't actually point. Like, you can kind of tell, right? Like, especially if you're zoomed in, you're like, it's not actually pointing where I'm aiming. It's like close, but it's not 100%. Common problem for third-person shooters, I believe. I still think this guy looks so goofy when he's running. The sprint looks really good though. Okay, so let's try to create some shooting mechanics, shall we? We got some time left. We got 15 minutes. It's probably not enough time. It's actually going to take a bit of setting up to do. Maybe we just call it and come back on Wednesday and set up a weapon state machine. I'm going to try. NA, you were saying that I should do a weapon state machine because the last one wasn't like that. We will need to do it this time because I don't have an animation player to rely on to tell me what's happening with the weapon, because that's what I was doing before. So this one will need to be a complete state machine. I'll probably use an enumerator. I think I'm not going to do nodes. It wouldn't work out with that. But otherwise, I'm pretty like happy with how this project is turning out so far. I really like this bone attachment as well. Bone attachment is like, this is cool. Cool little, I didn't know about this. Would make making like an adventure game really easy. You can attach any weapon to your dude. Makes it very good. Cool. Alright guys. That's gonna be it for me. So I guess I should do the shout out. Thanks Jips, Hazza, Color Pants, Rab, Big Green, Nike, Jice, Bricky T, YGG, Scoremonger, Mr. Sparkle, and Oh Yeah Dude. We're gonna do some math to rotate the wristbone to make the gun look at it. That's what I would try to do. You could just use look at, honestly. It would be enough. It's gonna be like reversed, so you have to like flip it, but like, you know, close enough. I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Just raycast in the opposite direction of the camera. Might end up with some unexpected results. It could be a fun experiment though. Don't know. I will see you guys later. What are we listening to? You never knew. Classic.